Today is something a little bit different from the usual content in terms of it not being a trainer, but I've been doing Clarks on my channel for years. So we can't wear trainers all the time. You and I know that. In an ideal world, I would wear trainers all the time pretty much. I've always found trainers significantly more comfortable than shoes. I've never been a shoes guy. When I started working, that was really when I had to start buying shoes. And from early, I've been wearing Clarks because they kind of tick that box. I think they are the best version of a shoe that a trainer head or sneaker head can wear. But as you know, Clarks are my staple, and I love Clarks, especially Wallabees. Weavers are okay, but for me, Wallabees highs and lows are my favorite. So I know this is going to be one of those pairs that people are either going to love or they're going to hate. I'm not sure it's going to be in the middle, but this is a pair I've got in front of you today. It is a pair of Clarks Wallabee lows in the Cola interest, but as you can see here, it has the Cowprint, and it's a detail that I actually really love, and I want to kind of share that love with you. All right, so let's lock in. I'm going to talk about the size, the fit, all the good stuff that you'll need to know if you're considering getting this pair. So even though Clarks Wallabees are a smart casual shoe, and I really think they suit so many occasions, I still go for pretty formal, straightforward colours. So I kind of have pairs of Clarks that I wear at work and some that I wear more casually. So this pair here is a good example of what I would wear at work. They're just completely black. I could probably even get away with these at a wedding or like a christening or some kind of occasion like that, parties, etc., where I just need a black shoe. That's why I bought this pair. Got this for a good price. And then I have other pairs that I kind of wear for myself, and this Bodega collab pair is one of those pairs. It's like a patchwork pair with brown and black, and I almost think these are too good for work. So I have a bit of a separation where I have kind of work shoes and home shoes as well, even though they overlap, and I could wear either at all and that wouldn't be a problem. But occasionally I want something that is a little bit different, and Clarks are pretty good. They, I would say, would release about 10 to 15 pairs of Clarks Wallabee lows every year. They have the staples and the leathers and the browns and the blacks and the kind of plain ones, which nothing wrong with that. They suit loads of occasions, but occasionally they'll drop in a pair that's a little bit more wild, a little bit more zany, and I would say this is one of those pairs. The moment I saw this, I thought, do you know what? They're pretty good because they're brown in general, and then they've just got this hit of Cowprint at the front, and I thought, that suits me. I've always been interested in creepers as shoes. I think they have an interesting look, but they're not the kind of thing I'm kind of ready to wear. I just don't know if they suit the style that I'm looking for, but I like them. They had a kind of hit of black and white, which I quite like because they had a touch of maybe that kind of black and white creeper style, but without going quite as far as that. So to keep a long story short, I've kept my eye on these for a long time and waited for them to go into sale, and they did go into sale and I snapped them up. So let's talk a little bit about price. So I think these retail for £130. As I've said before on my channel, when I've done reviews of Clarks Wallabees, they will retail for about 130, maybe 130, 150, depends whether they're collab or not. Often, if you're willing to wait and keep your eye on them, they will go into sale. That's exactly what happened with this pair. These went down to £96, I do believe, and I also am lucky enough to get a extra 10% discount, and I applied it, so I got these for £80, which for me is a fantastic price, and I'm really happy with them in hand. So I would always recommend that rather than immediately pulling the trigger and buying it, you know, it's tough times, the cost of living has gone right up. Just wait a bit if you can, keep an eye on the pair, and then just keep checking back. They will eventually go into sale. My size is a little bit tricky. I go for a UK 10.5, so there are very few of them. I either have to get them from Clarks themselves, or there are a couple of other websites that have 10.5, but I have to watch it really carefully because half sizes sell out like that. I think there are so few of them. So let's talk a little bit about sizing. Me personally, in Nike and most trainers, I am a UK 11, a US 12, and sometimes I can be a UK 10.5. So 10.5 or 11 is pretty much my size. For shoes, I tend to go half down in general. This pair here, I'm sure are a 10, and they fit me fine. And with Clarks, I go down half a size, so I go from my smaller sort of half size, which is a UK 10.5, I probably could squeeze my feet into a 10, but I'm not at that stage where I want any kind of discomfort. So I go for a UK 10.5. So if you're in between sizes, go for the smaller size with Clarks. I would always recommend, if you're able to, just buy a pair, go into a shop, try them online, so you know your size. So as soon as the sale hits, you can pull the trigger and get the pair that you want. But these are a super comfortable pair of shoes. They have a nice rounded toe box, so you don't have to worry about them pinching your toes, and they are really comfortable. So the last thing I want to talk about with this pair is the QC and the materials. From what I can tell, it has pony hair. It says, I've just realized that these actually have real fur on them. So that's a bit of a problem for me, because I don't like to wear materials that have, I don't like the idea of fur particularly. So I'm a bit surprised by that. I just had assumed they were just synthetic. I need to do a bit more research on that, but it does say that this is real fur from Italy. I would like to assume that it's responsibly sourced. I'll do some more research on that, but the materials are, this is a lovely suede on the side, and this is real fur here from Italy. It can't be cow print like that. It can't just be pulled off the cow. I just don't believe that is happening in 2025. I would like to think the hair has been dyed in a particular way, but yeah, those are the materials. To be fair, I'm a bit of a hypocrite, because this is real leather and suede anyway, so I have to be completely honest in my reviews. You know, I'm not going to try and fake the funk and pretend that, you know, I'm completely ethical all the time with everything I buy, but I do try my best. But I do like this pair, but we'll see how it goes in terms of whether I keep them or not. But the materials are fantastic. I've got no complaints with that. They come with this lovely fob, as you'll be aware of if you wear Clarks. So they're pretty standard in that respect. I've got no QC issues, nothing in terms of glue stains or anything like that, but that is standard with Clarks. I think Clarks are fantastic materials and really good value, especially at this price point. You would just not get a pair of trainers for £80 that were almost completely leather like this, and the quality of the leather as well. So I always recommend Clarks in terms of quality, because I think they do a really good job. I would just like to think that there's no cruelty involved in the construction of the shoes that I wear. Maybe that's a bit naive, but yeah, that's what I would say about the materials. So I know in the comments I'm going to get roasted. They're going to say, well, those are way too wacky, all that kind of stuff, and that's all good. I don't have an issue with that whatsoever. When I bought them, I really wasn't sure if I was going to like them actually, and when I put them on foot, and then I said to my wife, look, what do you think of this pair? She was like, they're loud. I put them on, and immediately I was like, they are fantastic. I really like them. I just like the quirkiness of that cow print at the front, and they really are nice on foot, in my personal opinion. They're just a little bit different. One of the things I like about them is they're a combination between safe and a little bit quirky. So the majority of them is just brown, and if you have them on the side, you might just see them that way, but then they've got a little bit of personality, like, you know, work around the side and it's party at the front, and I quite like that about this pair. I just think life's too short to wear boring things. You don't have to walk around wearing, you know, ridiculous colours, but I think if you like a pair of shoes or trainers and they're a bit quirky or a little bit out there, then just wear them, just rock them, as long as you feel comfortable. That's the main thing. So I'm pretty sure I will keep these. I'm pretty happy with these in general, but yeah, I would definitely recommend these as a pair. I think especially if you can get them at a good price point, that's the main thing. And yeah, Clarks Wallabees, can't get enough. This is probably the last pair of Clarks Wallabees I'll pick up for a while, unless we get a banging collab. But they're a pair of shoes that I wear every single day, and so I do get good wear out of my Clarks. So I'm always buying pairs to kind of top up, because they do wear out like anything. As always, thanks so much for watching the video. I appreciate every view. I appreciate every subscriber. It's great to get the comments as well, and to know that, you know, as kind of older OG trainer heads, sneaker heads, shoe wearers, whatever, you know, that we have a bit of a community online as well. So I appreciate you watching. Thanks so much. If you haven't already liked it, subscribe. I will see you on the next one. Peace.